Here we go. You done? Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Mana. All right, welcome to Hit or Miss. I am Night Strike, and thank you, Smeggy, for your musical inclinations.
Dude, you sound all crackly.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but you're still crackly. You got to jiggle the dongle.
How about now? Am I still sounding crackly?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. Who the hell told you were okay to go live with this crackly stuff? Come on, Travis. You're supposed to keep track of this stuff.
How about now?
Sorry, man. I had no idea.
Is that better?
You have no idea. You were talking to him before I got in.
I was just talking to the man.
Guys?
I wasn't even really thinking.
Oh,
about
I
it.
don't pay attention to either, okay?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's still warbly.
Shit.
Get your stuff together, man.
Get my stuff together, yeah. All right, hold on. Just let me try something real quick.
Man, quit stealing your neighbor's Wi-Fi.
Wow, really?
Smeggy, how's your day going, man? You doing all right?
Yeah, hanging in there.
Cool.
Can you hear me now?
Much
yeah,
better.
that's better.
Heck yeah, dude. What'd you do?
I unplugged and plugged it back in.
Oh, okay.
So
Cool.
So it's working good now, right?
Yeah, no, it sounds awesome. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Good to go.
All right. So welcome everyone to Hit or Miss. Let me introduce my panel. We only got a few people here tonight. Hopefully, more will come in when they come in. So, Smeggy, thanks for showing up to this evening.
Hey, how's everyone doing today? And yeah, I bet you most people will pop in after Tactical Tuesday ends over on Ghost Tactical's channel.
People were complaining that we don't start on time, so I started closer to 9 o'clock this time.
Wait, you let people tell us what to do? Come on.
No, but I
Just for that, I'm not talking anymore until 9.
Smeggy, I looked at it this way. They couldn't wait for Hit or Miss, and they wanted to hear us talk. That's how I look at it. They couldn't wait for Hit or Miss to start. So, and then we got Travis P11. What's going on, Travis?
Hey, man, not much. Appreciate the invite. Thank you. Just a quick little plug, guys. We've been doing the Caliber Corner live podcast on Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Central Time. So if you get a chance, check it out, or you can listen to it over on YouTube with my channel, Travis P11, and on gunchannels.com. Channel's Caliber Corner. Check it out, man.
All right. Let's see if we have anybody out there on the YouTube side. All right. Who do we have on the YouTube side? Roll call. We got Doug DA. We got AC97. We have Caleb's RC Crawlers. Hey, Caleb, what's going on? We've got Grim90. All right, we got Grim.
Grim's in the house.
We got Sean Callahan. Hey, Sean, what's going on? We got Scott Pacini. We got Link. Oh, man, we got Link. All right, so, hey, guys, glad to see you guys jumping in and participating. We got Anthony Princeton out there as well. So that's who we have on the YouTube side. Who we have on the Gun Channel side? Well, it looks like everybody's still at Ghost Tactical Tuesday. So we just have Dan Bob 1100 out there. Well, hey, Dan, how's it going? So tonight we're going to talk about – I saw this thing about one of the Niagara Falls congressmen from New York actually submitted a bill. And I know, Night Strike, why are we talking about this guy from New York? You know, people from New York are crazy. Generally, I would agree with you that, you know, people from New York don't care about gun rights. But apparently, he submitted a pro-gun bill. Okay, this news is from like Thursday or Friday last week, but you know, Hit or Miss is only on Tuesday nights at 9 o'clock. So I figured we'd talk about it tonight, go through the bill, read it. You know, it's not very long, so we could talk about it, discuss it. If anybody has any, comments themselves, we'll read out on the YouTube side or the gun channel side, and we'll just go along with that. And if anybody else has anything else they'd like to talk about, just let us know, all right? You can send us an email at nightstrike1@gmail.com. That's NIGHTSTRYKE, the number 1 at gmail.com. And we'll go over that too. So everybody participate tonight. So where is that email? Damn it. Look at that email that I sent people that has it has everything I need in there.
Go to your sent box.
Okay. This is from Representative Collins, Chris Collins from New York. I know, it's crazy.
The meds must be working, man. That's all I know.
I know. But Smeggy, you've got the email. You see what we're going to go over, right? Smeggy, you still there?
It's not 9:13 yet.
Well, you got 3 minutes. Could you give us?
Smeggy, tap on the microphone once if you say yes. Tap twice if you say no.
How many times do I tap to say it's not 9:13 yet? The show doesn't start till 9:13.
No, the show starts.
I'm not starting early just because people told me to start early. Fuck them.
No, they couldn't wait. They were complaining that they couldn't wait for Hit or Miss to start.
Smeggy, they love you, man. These people
love
care
you,
about you, man. They want to give you like a kidney if you need one. I mean, they're there for you, bro.
They idolize you, Smeggy.
They do, Smeggy. Who would want a little snowman like that in their life?
Yeah, I know, guys. The guys out there on the YouTube side is like a program bill from a guy and a representative in New York. Are we crazy?
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Well, here's the thing to remember. Because okay, fine, I'll give you guys 2 minutes early, so we're a little more on time. But I'm still not happy about it. The thing to remember about New York is there's almost 2 New Yorks. There's New York City and everything else. I mean, I know the state as a whole has some bad gun laws, but almost all of them are driven by the city. And then either there's enough population there, it overrides all of the other rural areas in upstate New York, or just like the politicians want the help from the city politicians, so they go along with stuff just to, whatever, get their own stuff going. But
right.
That's the thing to remember. It's kind of like California, honestly. I mean, you go up to the mountains of California,
and then you got Los Angeles.
Yeah, you won't see more outdoorsy, hunter, Second Amendment right people as like up in the mountains and shit. The problem is there's only 10 of them and there's a million sitting in LA or whatever. Right. So that's the thing to remember. And I'm reading through it now. It seems, I don't know.
It seems promising considering where the source is coming from. But granted, you are right. It might be from someone who is a representative for upstate New York, where they're a bit more.
You said Niagara Falls. I mean, that's like out
closer to the west. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm optimistic because the bill itself doesn't sound too bad. It actually sounds pretty good, all things considered. So the bill we're talking about has been submitted to Congress. It's HR 3576. I posted it out there in the chat for everyone if they want to take a look at it. Read along with us. But it's HR 3576. It's called the Second Amendment Guarantee Act. I think that's what it is. The Second Amendment Guarantee Act, but I don't know why they call it the Saga Act, but it might be one law.
It's an Second Amendment Guarantee Act, Saga.
Yeah.
Like letters that make up words and stuff.
Acronyms. So, all right, here's what it says. 115th Congress, first session, HR 3576, to amend Title 18 of the United States Code to limit the authority of states and localities to regulate conduct or impose penalty or taxes in relation to rifles or shotguns. Now, on that, I'm disappointed that it's only rifles and shotguns, and it's not rifles, shotguns, or handguns. I kind of want it to be handguns too, but again, considering the source, we'll take what we can get at this point.
Right. Yeah. No, I think there's still a thing, and I mean, to be honest, they're kind of true. Is that handguns are used in crime way more often than the other stuff. So unfortunately, you'd get a lot more pushback if you included handguns. There'd be a lot more people saying, "Well, I mean, we got it in a city. We should be allowed to do extra stuff to handguns. Like those are the most dangerous ones."
Right.
So
And,
I
there's
agree
part
with
of me
you.
that,
I mean, we all know obviously shall not be infringed, blah blah blah, whatever. But
yeah.
sometimes you got to be pragmatic. I mean, I don't even know if this will go through as it is now, let alone if you threw handguns in there. So
or maybe
half a step's better than no step. I'd rather have 10
Yeah.
steps, but you know how it is.
right. Maybe going through the process that might amend it to include handguns. Who knows?
Yeah.
That's
yeah, I was
you know
gonna
that's
say,
possible,
it's a good
especially
starting
if
spot.
it looks.
You know, but
Sorry,
the
Travis.
guys, you know, some of the guys, other representatives might say, "Hey, this looks great, but can we get it to amend to say handguns too?" You know, and then go through that, and you know, optimistic. Okay, so it says,
To be honest, well, actually no, never mind. Take it back. Never mind. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
so in the House of Representatives, July 28, 2017, Mr. Collins of New York introduced the following bill, which was referred to the Committee on the Judiciary. To amend Title 18 United States Code to limit the authority of states and localities to regulate conduct or impose penalties or taxes in relations to rifles and shotguns. Be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress assembled, Section 1, short title. This act may be cited as the Second Amendment Guarantee Act or the SOG Act. Section 2, limitation on authority of states and localities to regulate conduct in relation to rifles or shotguns. Section 927 of Title 18 United States Code is amended. 1. By striking no and inserting A, except as provided in the subsection B, no. And 2, by adding after and below the end of the following. The end of the following.
You realize how weird? I mean, I don't know. I'm looking at the
all of our
structure
bills
right
are
now.
all of our bills are written like this. So
No, I know, but I'm just saying I'm looking
It
like
sounds
at the outline right now with the spaces and the tabs and all that stuff. And I'm still having trouble following along with what you just said. I mean, I get what it is. They're getting rid of no and adding in except as provided in the subsection, and then
right.
Additionally no, and then adding in this following thing, which is B1. But I'm just saying, like, that's part of the problem when we like read some of this stuff is it just like your brain can't think what it is supposed to look like.
I can understand it. I can understand it because I've actually read United States Code 8, Title 18. I've read it, all of it, and do I remember? I remember about half of it. So, but either way, I'll read this and then I'll go back and I'll read Title 18 and see what they're trying to do. Because you can do that because it's all there. It's out there available. It's common knowledge.
Yeah, so, you just have to go back and look at the subsection B and see what the exceptions are that are provided.
Yeah. So here's subsection B1. A state or a political subdivision of a state may not impose any regulation, prohibition, or registration or licensing requirement with respect to design, manufacture, importation, sale, transfer, possession, or marking of a rifle or shotgun that has moved in, or any such conduct that affects interstate or foreign commerce, that is more restrictive, or impose any penalty, tax, fee, or charge with respect to such a rifle or shotgun or such conduct in an amount greater than is provided under federal law. Okay,
hang on a second. So, first off, these people need to go back to school and learn what a run-on sentence is. But I personally kind of want to take. So that's one sentence how it is written.
Yeah.
I'd like to kind of like sum that up real quick. So basically, a state can impose regulations and such about manufacture, import, or transfer as such.
No, not just the state. They're going one step further. A state, a city, or a county cannot impose.
So I know. Here's the thing. I hate when the sentences are like this or 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 this. Fucking 20 things in a row. I get it. You have to have all those in there, but I try when I'm summarizing, try to be like, all right, let's like simplify. So a state or city can't put on regulations about manufacturing or importing or selling or possessing
or marking,
rifles and shotguns that are more restrictive than the federal government. That's the basic of it. You can't have laws that are more restrictive than the federal government. And I'll let you read the next part.
Okay. To the extent that a law of a state or political subdivision of state, which would be a city or county, whether enacted before, on, or after the date of the enactment of this subsection, violates the preceding sentence, the law shall have no force or effect.
So basically, any law that was in place before this subsection takes place is not grandfathered in. It will not have the force of law.
Okay. Yep. Then that was one sentence. The next sentence goes on to say, for purposes of this subsection, the term rifle or shotgun includes any part of a rifle or shotgun, any detachable magazine or ammunition feeding device, and any type of pistol grip or stock design. Which, a newsflash, if they are saying that you can't restrict more than the federal level, that means that magazine capacity limits would be in violation of this law.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that means New York's what, 7-round limit where you can have 10-round magazines but only have them loaded to 7? Yeah, that ain't flying.
Well, I mean, and that's all right. So that's basically one, and then
two
basically just says any damage. Well,
let's read it. In an action brought for damages or relief from a violation of paragraph 1, the court shall award the prevailing plaintiff a reasonable attorney's fee in addition to any other damages or relief awarded.
Right.
So that means a reimbursement for any infringements.
Right. That basically means if you had an AR in California or something, they took it away, you could sue them, and then they'd have to pay your attorney fees. So that one's pretty easy, self-explanatory. Yeah. But okay, so getting back up to section 1 here, then I mean, basically, this would knock out any of the state-level assault weapons bans that specify specific rifles. Like you mentioned before, it would knock out any magazine restrictions because a part of a rifle or shotgun, any detachable magazine or ammunition feeding device. So, bam, those all go. It would get rid of like FOID cards because that's extra registration and licensing in order to possession. So that would go away. I mean, it gets rid of a lot of stuff, which is why I feel like this is a Hail Mary, to be honest. But it'd be cool if it went through.
It would. And I'm pleasantly surprised that something like this, even in this form, is coming out of New York. I am pleasantly surprised because it's more in a step of the right direction that I would expect from New York. And granted, I remember you said that some parts of New York are more pro-gun and pro-constitution than others. I get that, but I'm just surprised that it's coming from a representative from New York.
Right. Here's the thing. If you ever really want to see what this country actually looks like, look at an electoral map, not where the states are colored blue or red. Look at where the districts are colored blue or red. And you will see like every single state, even the ones that go blue, 90% of the counties are red, and then you have little blops of blue. The problem is there's 10 million people in that little blop, so it overrides everybody else. But if you can find like a district map or whatever and look at the electoral thing, and just granted, red versus blue isn't always the best for pro-guns because we know there are Republicans that suck on gun rights. But as a general rule, they tend to be more pro-gun than Democrats do. But anyway, so look at New York. I bet you'll see the same thing. You'll see a little blue dot down near the bottom. The rest of the state will be red. Maybe the state capital is probably blue also, if I had to guess. Michigan's like that. You got Detroit and Lansing and maybe Flint and Ann Arbor are blue. Everything else is red. I mean, a lot of states are like that.
Right. But I'm blown away that this is coming out of, New York, of all places. I would have never guessed.
Let me poke around in here. I was going to say, does it have a bunch of co-sponsors and stuff? Does that show on here?
I don't know.
Oh, co-sponsors, 10.
10.
Yep,
well, that's good. I mean, it's more than I thought it had.
Holy shit. So these are the co-sponsors. I'll just read them off by state. There's one from New York, one from California, one from PA, another one from New York, another one from California, another one from New York, Texas, Tennessee, New York. What's LA? Is that
Louisiana? Yeah.
But either way, so you got 1, 2, 3. You have 4 from New York, 2 from California are co-sponsors on this bill. And honestly, it's probably because they're the rural part of that state. That's where they're represented from. And their constituents are the ones that would benefit the most from this going through, because it gets rid of the SAFE Act. It gets rid of assault weapons ban. It gets rid of, like I said, all the other stuff.
Right. So, I mean,
unfortunately, in the House of Representatives, 10 co-sponsors. I mean, how many representatives are there?
There's a lot. I think there's like 200 something.
Yeah, like 250
overall.
Something.
Yeah. So, let's see. What titles is this? It's called. Okay, we've already went over that. So, committees. It is currently in the House Judiciary Committee, the subcommittee on crime, terrorism, homeland security, and investigations. I don't see where that would come into place, because this isn't crime, this isn't terrorism, this isn't homeland security, this isn't
investigations. They get all the good ones. They get. That's what happens. Any gun bill goes to the judiciary and goes to the crime, terrorism, homes. Because here's the thing: the states will make a counter argument to say, well, in order to reduce crime, we got rid of magazines. In order to reduce terrorism, we got rid of ARs. In order to increase homeland security, we added registration, like that type of stuff. So that, I think it's in the proper subcommittee. What I find interesting is it was actually introduced July 28th, and then it got referred to the subcommittee. What's that? September 6th.
Yeah.
So I find it funny that it sat there for over a month.
Well, remember, they go over a lot of bills and shift them over and whatnot.
Right. Yeah, it was referred to the House Committee of Judiciary right away, and then they just now assigned it to the subcommittee earlier this month.
Yeah.
And now we're talking about it. Now we're hearing about it. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. That's a good one.
I figured it might be a nice one to go over and talk about and read, and hey, I honestly, it doesn't sound like a bad law. I wouldn't mind having it be put into place, because yeah, I can see where it might be used for evil, but I can see how it could be used for good for the country.
Okay, let me challenge you on that. How could it be used for evil? Because I don't see how.
Well, they can add an amendment in probably to take it away. So they could do that with anything.
Okay, yeah, but that's not using this for evil. That's corrupting it or whatever. Now, like I know of other things, like we'll bring up national reciprocity. I could see, although I do support it, I can see other people's point where they say the possibility for it being used for evil is there. The reason being is you've now told the federal government they're allowed to tell states what they can and cannot do with concealed carry. And then therefore they might be able to impose some type of, federal requirement for training or something like that.
Right.
So that one, it does, although I disagree that that's how it would be used. I can acknowledge that that potential at least exists. In this, I cannot see a potential in its current form how it could be used negatively towards gun rights. Because all it says is a state or city can't be more restrictive than the federal government. So get rid of all your restricted laws.
I mean, God, they already restrict their firearms as much as they can anyway in those states. I don't see what they could possibly get from this that would tighten it up even more, you know?
Right.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's just like, you know, it's basically a national level preemption. When states have preemptions, it basically says, you know, a city can't be more restrictive than the state. And we've seen that time and time again where cities will try to have like their own restriction and the state comes in and says, hey, we don't have a ban on magazines. You can't either. And then the city gets rid of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
So I don't know. I was curious what because you said you saw potential, and I agree with you. I mean, they can amend it.
I was getting at they could
the process
amend it where saying that, you know, you're only allowed to have rifles or shotguns. You aren't allowed to have handguns. They can amend it for that.
Well, yeah, but that's still like saying, well, you know, the potential's there, but not in its current form. I mean, any bill, there could be a bill about the budget, and they could tack on in the end, oh, by the way, you have to kill your firstborn son. I mean, it could be in there. It's not, but it could be. And that's so I think that's not necessarily a valid argument against it just because they could add something later. Now, trust me, as soon as the amendment adds in, you know, oh, by the way, handguns suck, get rid of them, then I'll be against the bill. You know, as soon as they add the amendment to say, just kidding, actually, we're going to go reverse and say that if any state bans something, all states have to ban it. Well, then I'm going to be against it, you know. So I'm always open to changing my mind, but as it stands right now in its current language, I don't see a negative at all to it. And I see a lot of states being pissed off by it because there's some pretty big programs that would get completely erased because of this.
And quite honestly, I'd like to see some of those bad programs that get erased by it, because they're not helping the country. They're only making things worse, in my opinion. And as I said, my opinion. So I hope it goes somewhere, but, you know, considering the government's track record this year, that's a stretch.
You know, yeah, I hope it does too. Honestly, I kind of see this more as, what would you call it? I think there's a word for it. I can't think of it right now, but basically, like, oh my God, what am I thinking? Like virtue signaling. You know, the left talks about that, right? Like when whatever virtual state. This is a similar thing as far as when these people go to get reelected, they'll be like, look, I tried to save Second Amendment rights. So I think it's going to be more like they'll probably get a vote. Either it goes through or it doesn't. But I see it more as they just did it so that they can go back to their constituents and say, listen, I tried to get rid of the SAFE Act federally, but, you know, no dice, sorry.
Yeah.
And I know there's a word for that when people purposefully, you know, they only introduce bills just as a campaign note or as a, you know, whatever, so they can vote on it just to show their track record and say, look, I stand for your rights. Yeah. And it escapes me right now.
One trick pony? No, that's not right.
No, it's someone's out there saying pandering. Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
I think pandering's more where you say stuff that your audience likes, and then when you go see a different audience, you say the stuff they like. Like, that's more pandering. But I guess it kind of is. I mean, it's kind of pandering to the gun people when they're trying to get reelected. But I forget. There is a different word. I probably recognize it if I see it. But anyways, hey, here's the thing, though. It's still a good sign. Even, like I said, even if it doesn't go through, it's still reminding people that, you know, we can push Detroit into the river. What the fuck, Dusty? Detroit's not bad. But anyways, you know, people are still talking about gun rights, and at least you had 10 people willing to sign on to the thing. And like I said, because of the couple in California and the 4 from New York, that proves that there's an audience to be pandered to in those states that are pro-gun. And I'm sure they're going to put it up there saying, like, look, we're trying to fight back against the city. We're trying to fight back against LA. So I see it as a sign of hope.
Yeah, I do too. I'm pleasantly surprised. So I hope something comes out of it, because it sounds like certainly something that we all want to see happen.
Yep. Well, we got a couple new people jumping in. I'd be curious on their opinion of it. I'm sure they weren't listening because they were in Ghost Tactical's chat. So first, I just want to say, what's up, Outlaw, and what's up, Ghost Tactical?
Hey, man, what's going on?
What's up, guys? Thanks for the invite. Appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. So
yeah,
even
though I didn't get an invite to Tactical Tuesday, but that's fine. You're welcome on my show.
I had Night Strike. I had you on last week. Look, if I had both of you on, you might as well just call it hit or miss pre-show.
Okay, I see how it is.
We'll do that. We'll do that next week. We'll call it the hit or miss pre-show.
Or we won't. It's up to
No, we
wait a minute. Do I get a vote in this at all?
No, you don't.
No.
All right. So what we all been talking about? Sorry about bothering you. What have you been talking about?
Side chat of the hangout. We were talking about this bill that came out, and it looks very promising, even considering where the source is from.
Oh my God! Quit saying that. Okay, so basically, it's the Second Amendment Guarantee Act, and it came from New York. Surprise! Yeah, but it came from New York. Anyways, what it basically said, it's a preemption law type thing, but basically saying states and cities cannot be more restrictive than the federal government in regards to rifle and shotgun. So handguns, they can still have extra license and registration and all this other crap, which sucks, but they can't. Basically, it would get rid of assault weapon bans,
suppressors. No, that's still federal, isn't it? That's still federal. But Cher's still going through. But Cher's going through right now.
It says in the thing rifles or shotguns, and then that is defined as any part of a rifle or shotgun, magazine feeding, ammunition feeding device, and like butt stocks or
magazine capacity.
Exactly. Yeah, it would get rid of capacity bans. It would get rid of assault weapons ban. It would get rid of like a FOID card type system for rifles and shotguns.
Licensing, registration. We'll get rid of that.
Yeah, I would like to. I think it's pretty obvious that we're all going to be for this, because it's a stepping stone to bigger and better things. But I think that any pro-gun agenda is positive.
And so, while it says rifles or shotguns, who's not to say they couldn't amend it later to say rifles, shotguns, and handguns?
That's what I'm saying. It's a stepping stone. At least it's something in the right direction. I think it's a positive thing. That's my personal take.
Yeah. So this came out on Thursday. They released this on Thursday, and they voted on it on the 6th, and they sent it to a subcommittee in the judiciary.
Is this in the state legislature? I guess.
No, this is
a New York congressman or senator.
It's a New York representative for the House.
Okay.
House of Representatives.
That's awesome.
Of the United States.
Yeah, and it has.
So this is actually a federal bill, not a state bill.
Yeah, this is a federal bill.
Oh, hell yes.
4 co-sponsors from New York, 2 co-sponsors from California, and then a couple others.
Really?
It has 10 total. But
I find it ironic that you have 4 co-sponsors from New York, but yet the New York state restrictions are crazy. Go figure.
Well, I think here's the thing, and I mentioned this before you guys jumped in, but I'll just reiterate. But basically, I think it's for the people that are, in New York, in, like I said, like the more rural or at least the more freedom-loving parts of New York. And so they have these representatives, and they're probably pissed off going, hey, how come the city gets to tell us what to do? So these guys can go back to their people and say, look at this bill I co-sponsored. It would get rid of the SAFE Act because that's in direct violation of the federal law. Like, it's too restrictive.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, so do I.
I like it.
And if that actually does pass, that's going to piss off a lot of politicians in New York City and all throughout California.
Well, yeah, basically California wouldn't have any more gun laws.
Knives would be a free man.
Yeah,
all the laws that California is
trying to
put in place already, or have in place already, or even trying to vote on and restrict even further, out the fucking window. Out the window.
Other than handguns, though. And that's the thing that you know, Night Strike brought up, yeah, it'd be great if it did include handguns as well. I think that makes it even a little bit more of an uphill battle. It's already going to be an uphill battle, but that adds a little more. But it's more of a personal thing. But if they added handguns into this, that gets rid of Michigan's handgun registration.
Yeah.
Because as of right now, rifles and shotguns, you just fill out the 4473 and go about your day. Take a little postcard into the state police that has your name, address, the store's information, and the serial number of the gun.
So,
and that's a bunch of crap.
The co-sponsors are 4 from New York, 2 from California, 1 Louisiana, 1 Pennsylvania, 1 Tennessee, and 1 from Texas. Just to run it down. I won't say their names, but you know, it's there. And apparently, on the 25th, they added like 4 more co-sponsors on it. So.
And who are the? What are
So
the?
it's gaining legs. I mean, it's gaining ground.
It's gaining one of them for the ones from Texas, Tennessee, Louisiana, and another one from New York. You know, jumped on board on the 25th. So
that's good stuff.
That's a good sponsor. So
that's a good point, Dusty. He says, "Remember, midterm elections are around the corner."
Yeah,
and that's where I was saying also earlier is that I think part of it's a little, I'm going to use the word pandering. I still don't think that's the right word, but whatever. Part of it is base bolstering so that, hey, vote for me. Look, at least I'm trying.
Yeah. Well, but some of the guys on the Gun Channel side are saying NYC, go fuck yourself. Yes, that's NYC. We're talking about representatives for the House of Representatives from New York. They're probably not from NYC if they're a co-sponsor, and they're a Republican. How many Republicans do you know are representing NYC that are pro-gun? I'll tell you what, not many.
Yeah, and I don't want to go into what I was saying, but I kind of always close on the Second Amendment on my show, and it is not only our right, but I think it's our responsibility, especially with midterm elections coming up. Guys, find out who your representatives are and your senators are on the federal side and on the state side, and contact them weekly and hold them accountable if they're a Republican and they're not voting or they're not sponsoring pro-gun amendment, pro-gun or Second Amendment agendas. Call them on it. Dangle re-election in front of them. If you can get a group of people, politicians, they live for the re-election. If you dangle re-election in front of them saying, we're not going to vote for you unless you vote these pro-gun agendas in, you'd be surprised at what your voice has to say. So please be proactive in that.
I have a question for you. This is along the same lines. What happens if, say, on the state level, what happens if your representative for your district is anti-gun and is a Democrat? What do you do?
You contact your state Republican Party representative and the president of the state Republican Party and say, hey, who do you guys have in mind that you have running against so-and-so in the next election? And is he pro-gun? And contact the state Republican Party or your district or your county Republican Party, whatever it is, contact them and say, hey, who do you have that you're going to put up against this guy? And if they're not just putting a body up there, say, hey, why don't we try to go find someone that's pro-gun? Because here's the thing, and I don't know exactly what the age restrictions, but I want to say it's like 28 or 30 years old. Hell, if there's nobody in your area that's running on the Republican side or as a pro-gun side, throw your own hat in there. Hell, you might get slaughtered, but at least you're doing something. Don't be afraid to throw your own hat in the ring, and you might lose in the primary. You might never get out of the primary. It's all good. But don't be afraid to throw your own hat in there or throw someone else in there and nominate someone that you know is pro-gun that does have that. Contact your state, committee and find out who they have to run against this guy and say, is he pro-gun? If not, can we try to find someone that is? That's real simple.
I mean, go ahead.
No, you can go ahead, Travis. I've talked about it.
Think about the awareness you would raise if you were running, even though you knew you were going to lose. And they interview on the news. Why are you running against this guy? What chance do you have? Well, I'm running against him because, and then you let the pro-gun side flow out of you, and you raise some awareness. Say, he's against this or against that. I'm not. I'm for people's rights to defend themselves, and you never know, man. You might get some popularity from it. A lot of people wake up and say, "Holy crap, this guy's somebody different," you know. I'm just saying, seriously, what do you got to lose, man? Nothing. If anything, you made your point. You got out in the media. You spread some knowledge out there to people. Do it.
And I'm this way. I mean, I think
the problem is,
why
Ghost,
Donald Trump won.
What happens if nobody is running, and you know, I say I or somebody I know does go and run against the Democrat in my district and decide and it gets elected. Shit, what the hell am I going to do? I don't know anything about running a government.
Pardon.
So that's like I just saw.
You personally, yeah. Go ahead.
No, you can go ahead. I'm walking all over everyone tonight. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what my problem is.
Oh, we're used to it.
My biggest thing is this. Is sometimes I would say there are a lot of people that don't have any political or government experience when they start running for their local representative, state level or whatever. They don't have anything. They have a voice that they want to be heard. And so many people get started because they'll sit there and say, I wanted my voice to be heard. You can learn a lot of that stuff, just by reading textbooks and reading books about the government. But I would sit there and say is this, chances are you might not win, but like it's like Travis, I think it was Travis that said it, or maybe it was Smeggy. Why not throw your hat in the ring? At least you're getting your
look at our
voice
president. Does he have any
heard.
political experience? Our own president of the United States?
Exactly.
He might not be the model politician for people, but I'm just saying there's an example of somebody who, now granted, how he plays the crowd and gets his popularity is one thing, but still, anybody can do it,
Absolutely.
So anyways, what I wanted to comment on, I just saw a commercial earlier today. Apparently there's some comedy, I don't know, ABC or whatever, that this rapper runs for mayor as a publicity stunt for his new album. And he ends up winning.
Gets it.
Yeah,
and
now
gets
he's
elected.
like, oh, what? What am I supposed to do now? So it's kind of funny that we're talking about this now when I just saw that earlier today. It was
I saw that. Did they release an episode of that yet? Because I'm not a fan of it, but I kind of want to watch it just to see what happens because it was an interesting preview or trailer.
Can I make one more comment on your question, Night Strike? Is this: how many people would have been elected over the years had they taken a chance? But the reason why a lot of these people run, they run consistently. Every time they run, there's no one running against them because people are sitting there and say, "Well, the apathy said saying, well, I can't beat him. I don't know anything about it. I don't have enough money to do that." There are a lot of people in this world, myself included, that are waiting for the next patriot to sit there and say, I am not an American. I'm not a Republican. I am not a Democrat. I am a hardworking American that believes in this, this, and this. You'd be surprised at how many people feel the same way you do, that you might just strike a nerve and say, hell yeah, dude, go change this shit. Go change the world. You'd be surprised how many people would sit there and say, I feel exactly how you do. I don't have the courage to do it, but thank God you did. I'm voting for you. You'd be surprised.
Dude, just go sit in your local diner on the weekends. Listen to what people have to say. Listen to old people sitting around talking, man. I mean, nobody's happy right now. Seriously.
Yeah.
No, nobody's happy.
I could see Night Strike running for senator.
Damn right, he's got the beard for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Tactical beard, baby. The operator beard.
Oh yeah,
He's got the
you're already halfway
beard.
to operator. We just gotta get you some 5'11" pants. You're ready to go.
Well, Ellis has to agree with me on this. It just comes from good genetics, right?
Yeah, exactly. He's also got.
Do y'all really have the best name in the world, the Hatfields? I mean, a lot of people know that as a negative thing.
No. See, I'm not one that likes to be in the limelight, so I'll let him be the senator. I'll just, stand behind the scenes and whisper in his ear, "Hey, look, you might not want to do this."
Governor Night Strike with a Y.
Well, so here's the thing,
Right. No.
You don't have to jump in and go for even something big. I mean, that's my uncle ran for city commissioner. That's a
Absolutely.
small little piece of a city thing, and it was mainly, he's an accountant type person or whatever, right? And he was like, dude, you guys fucking suck at money. Like, let me get in there and sort this stuff out. Like, you're ruining our city. And it's, you know, it's just a small little step, but, you know, who knows? You might
give you a
get in
perfect
there,
example of
like
one
it,
of our
and you run
buddies.
for mayor, then you run for governor, then you, or you senator or whatever.
On my dad's side of the family, we do have some politicians in there, and even one of our cousins was a Supreme Court justice for New York.
And I'll give you a prime example of one of our buddies who's
I
standing up
won't
saying,
say
I don't
which
like the
one,
way things are going through CloverTac. CloverTac's running for justice of the peace in his area because he got sick of the way stuff was going, and he's going to make a difference. He's running for justice of the peace in his area, and I hope he wins.
Oh, shit. Well, let me be the first to apologize of my appearance on his chat ruining his chances. Because I can just see you cutting out a 10-second clip of one of the chats. And going,
you mean like the chat from the other night with
How
Alan
about from last night? From last night's chat, that might be detrimental to his campaign.
Oh yeah, dude, I was the most well-behaved in there.
What happened? Was there a little
download that chat?
Yankee?
We need to download that chat and put some music to it, and make like a techno remix.
Yeah, basically what happened is after all the shows last night, we were I'm not sure where we were. We all had several. We all had several. But Clover goes on and does just a live chat real quick in his backyard, in his pajamas, in the pitch black, and does a lawn chair pop with his SBR suppressed.
Oh,
next thing we know, Alan B. Pro, who I don't know if you guys know Alan B. Pro, go check out his YouTube page. Really good guy, new to the gun channels. He's trying to figure out the live streaming capability. So he goes live just for the hell of it. And as a rookie mistake, he decides to throw the Hangouts link into the YouTube chat. You can only imagine where that went. So we had about 7 or 8 of us on there that stayed up till 2 o'clock in the morning, and it got weird, man. It got funny as hell, but yeah, it was fun.
Clover's out on the YouTube on the YouTube side.
There you go, buddy.
Alan's chat was awesome.
I guess I'm gonna have to go back and listen. All I know is I jumped in on my normal walk home, and I forget what the heck you guys were talking about, some sex thing or something. I'm like, what did I walk into? And you guys were like, this is the most well-behaved we've been in the past like half hour. Like, this is the mild part of the chat. You should have heard us earlier. So,
you trying to get his account flagged on his first podcast or what?
So guys, those of you listening out there on the YouTube with the Gun Channel side, again, if you've got any questions, you got comments, suggestions for topics you want us to cover, please send us an email at nightstrike1@gmail.com. That's NIGHTSTRYKE, the number 1 @gmail.com, and we will go over it if we can. No.
Yeah, I got something else I forgot. We were talking earlier about what do you do if you're, like live in the city or whatever, and your representative is not going to listen to you or whatnot. Right. One of the strategies I've tried, I don't know if it works for sure, but it makes me feel better, is, I will write a thing and I'll look up their politics or whatever. And being a libertarian, I can tend to find something I agree with everybody, just like I can find something I disagree with everybody.
I'm the same way. Absolutely.
So what I'll do is I'll look it up and I'll find something I agree with them on, and then I'll write them a letter saying hey, you're my representative. I'm from this district, blah, 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 whatever. So, start that, and then go into, I agree with you on, your tax plan or something, or blah, blah, blah. However, your stance on anti-gun makes me not want to vote for you. And I will never vote for you as long as you still hold this stance. So if you want to win me over, if you want to convert me to your side, just change your gun stance because I agree with you on this other stuff. And I'd like to think maybe, even if the person still wins or whatever, there's no reason why. We always have this in our head. Democrats are bad and hate guns. Republicans are good and love guns. And that's not true. There are plenty of Democrats who like guns, and there are plenty of Republicans who don't give a shit. And so I don't care if it's a Republican or a Democrat. If you don't like guns, I don't like you. I am 90% a one-issue voter, and everything else adds up to that other 10%. So if you put me on guns, then let's say both candidates like guns. Okay, great. Now I'm going to look at, whatever, taxes, immigration, legalization, right to choose, like all that kind of stuff. I'll look at those issues and then I'll pick which one I like better. So I'd like to hope to change the Democratic Party's platform to being pro-gun, because I still, to this day, and maybe I'm, hanging out with too much or something, I truly believe we can have an America where both parties are pro-gun and we get to argue about the other shit.
Absolutely. Well said.
Well, see, that's the way it should be.
The
And in the beginning, that's the way it was.
You keep mispronouncing librarian, Smeggy.
Oh, well, whatever.
Library?
Biblioteca?
No, it's actually bibliotecaria is a librarian in Spanish. A biblioteca is a library, but it's all good.
Says the Spanish teacher.
Bibliotecarian? What?
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
No comprende español.
So what's libertarian in Spanish?
Libertariano?
Yan?
No. Libertariano.
I thought it was libertado.
No, that's freed.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be libertariana?
Yeah, if you're a female libertarian, yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
There you go. So you're getting there. You're almost there.
You're almost there, Smeggy. You're almost. So, I think we've pretty much stretched this as far as we can. Unless if anyone has any questions out there on the YouTube or the Gun Channel side, or
I have a question.
Or if you got something, Smags, go for it.
I have a question. What is the link to Ghost Tactical's auction for the AR?
That's right. We need to get that auction out.
Hey, hey, will you guys make me a mod and I'll put it out there real quick in the chat.
Yeah, go ahead and say there you are.
I appreciate it. And you can take me off and just as soon as I post this, if you want. I don't care.
So, is it safe to say that we're all supporting Clover for Justice of the Peace?
Yes,
Clover for Justice of the Peace. Hell yes.
Yes.
Clover for Justice of the Peace. Okay, good. We got your back, Clover, if you're listening.
Yeah, I need to, PM him and figure out exactly where he lives, and I'll buy a house there, and then, kind of like how Hillary rented an apartment for 2 days in New York and then became a senator.
We put it on the YouTube side, but I'm gonna copy that over to the Gun Channel side for everyone on the Gun Channel side. If you guys want to help G-Webs out for the Gun Show Loophole Tour, Ghost is auctioning one of his AR-15s he doesn't need. He's auctioning.
Does anyone really need an AR-15?
Well,
yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
He's letting one of his children go.
He's letting one of his spares go. He's got more. Don't worry about it. But
yeah, it's not my only one.
He's selling it to help G-Webs out. So 100% of the proceeds from the auction is going towards the Gun Show Loophole Tour and going straight to G-Webs. So if you guys want to help out, go ahead, jump on Gunbroker, make a bid.
Absolutely. Jumpy Killer QX out there says Share Act. Yeah, that's a huge one. It's on the Senate floor now. It passed out of committee, and that is a huge one. The other one that is right now a huge one, people have different opinions on it, but any gun legislation is good legislation, is the National Reciprocity Bill as well on the House side. So talk to your representative senators about those two acts.
Yeah. So.
Yep, definitely. I already emailed my dude and was like, hey, fucking demand a vote on Share and vote for it. And I got I got kind of a form letter back, but he was basically like, the Second Amendment's important, and I don't support any bills that, add more restrictions and blah, 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 blah. And I'm all for, getting rid of restrictions and whatnot. I'm like, yay! I think that means you support the Share Act. He never officially said it. I think they were just like, guns in the title. I'll send this form letter back. But
yeah, they probably has 15 of them written
in the past, so that's cool.
Any response is good, even if it's negative, because at least your voice is getting out there to them. Whether it has any effect, that's up to the the representative or the senator. But
can I just
either
add
way,
one thing?
It's getting out there. Go for it.
Can I just add one thing? For anybody who's really interested and you're really concerned about these things, you always have the option of researching, go online, and find out the history of what your representatives have voted. And that could give you a better idea of where they stand. And that'll help you to know who to put more pressure on.
That is true.
Yeah, every congressman, every senator has a website through the senate.gov or congress.gov, and they will all show their history of voting. That's a very good point.
Yeah, there's some website out there, and this is going to be a horrible story because I don't remember what it was, but it is a truly non-biased, like, platform type website. Like, it basically it looks at all of the major platform issues and tries to determine like what side of the coin they fall down on. And like I said, I know it's a crap story because I can't remember what the heck it was, but I remember when I first saw it, and I was like, wow, that is actually really cool, because it's, the NRA does that kind of stuff when they vote their people. They give them A's and F's and whatever, and that's fine, but they obviously have their own political slant, and it's only the one issue, right? They don't look at any of the other ones. And this one was just like a really good overview where you could see, and from my point of view, are they mostly freedom or mostly regulation? Like, which one do they side on more often? So I don't know. Maybe I'll do a quick search, see if I can figure that out for you guys. But seriously, it was very enlightening. I looked at all my people and told me mostly what I already knew. But some of the stuff I was like, oh, I didn't realize that. Like, I like this person because this other stuff, but I don't like them because of these other ones. Like I said, I can always find something I disagree with just about anybody. But I like being in arguments and debate, so it's a good quality to have. I can always find something to argue about.
Oh, yeah.
And another thing about finding the histories of these specific topics is you'll find history of other topics and how they voted. So if you're a one-issue voter, that might help you decide if being one issue is good or being one issue plus one or two other issues. Again, use the information, do your research, and be smart about it. That's all.
All right, I think we've come full circle. Does anybody have anything they want to get in before we wrap this up? Anybody have another topic you want to talk about?
Yes, let's discuss Chris Vector. We still have to rescue him.
Well, what state is he trapped in?
South Carolina, somewhere.
Right. Well, let me guess.
At least he's safe.
He's being held against his will under glass.
There is a question from the Peanut Gallery. Clover Tech wanted me to ask John if that website tells if the politician supports the tree people. That was one of the topics of last night, the tree people.
Hashtag tree people matter.
No, I thought it was hashtag tree people lives matter.
Yeah.
So as a
and Rich White sent a nice little hashtag out to you, Night Strike, but I won't repeat it because it's not my show. But he sent a nice little hashtag out to you.
Hey, I have a question for Clover. I own a chainsaw. Does that make the tree people hate me? Because I've cut down a lot of trees.
You may not want to go visit them anytime soon. You may want to stay out of that part of town.
All I have to say to you, Rich, is hashtag Robotech. That's all I have to say to you, Rich.
It got a little interesting last night. That's for damn sure.
It did get interesting. But anyways, so I guess we've about come full circle. I'll just go through the room and see if you guys have anything to last minute plug. So, Ghost, you're up in the first.
Check out YouTube, VidMe, Patreon at Ghost Tactical, website ghosttactical.us. More importantly, guys, check out that link. I'll put it out here again for the auction. It is going 100% of the proceeds going to G-Webs and the Gun Show Loophole Tour. It's phenomenal what he's doing out there, so go support him.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. And Smeggy, you got anything you want to plug?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and plug the daily gun show every day at noon Eastern. Sometimes I'm still able to jump in. It just depends on if I can get away during my lunch break or not. Let's see what else. Obviously, Gun Show Loophole Tour, support G-Webs on Patreon. I truly think that's the best way to send your support is just jump on his Patreon. You know, if all you got is $1 a month, I mean, come on. There can't be a single person in the world who doesn't have $1 a month to support freedom. Come on, you jackasses.
Man, I got $2 for freedom, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm already supporting it,
or whatever. And
I got $5.56 for freedom.
yeah, exactly.
Remember to say on
like
Team America,
sticker
freedom
pack
costs
thing is
$1.05.
I still have to. I've been meaning to ask G-Webs about that, is because I jumped up in supporting him, but I used to be at the sticker pack level, and I really enjoyed getting random stickers once a month. So I've been meaning to ask him, like, do I still get a sticker, or because I got the bigger thing, is that all I get? So I hope I still get a sticker because I really like those. But anyways, check that out. Check out Hit or Miss Tuesday at 9 o'clock. We all know that. I don't know, fucking freedom, Share Act and Saga and National Reciprocity and all that other stuff. Write your people. It takes 2 seconds. Write your people. Be like, yo, I like guns, and I'll vote for you if you like guns too. If you don't vote for guns, I'll beat you up. But probably don't say that. Just say I'll vote for the other guy.
All right.
Because honestly, they're more scared of that. They'd rather be punched in the face than get the other person win the vote.
Absolutely.
So just threaten them to vote for the other person and be like, the other person likes me, so screw you.
Okay, John.
You guys pretty much covered everything, but go ahead and check out gun channels. And like Smeggy said, it's not difficult. Watch some of the channels on gun channels, as well as some of the fellas we have on the panel tonight. And people have videos of easy forms to send to your representatives.
That's a good point, right? The NRA ILA. Just go to, like, is it NRA-ILA.com? I forget the exact website. Just type in NRA ILA.
I think if you Google NRA ILA,
yeah, there's a
as well as some of the
tab
channels
like
Never Enough Tactical, right? Never Enough Tactical has done the videos on it, as well as other YouTubers. But go ahead and gun channels, check out the people making videos and watch their videos and search them, and they'll talk to you about how to get the forms already pre-done. All you got to do is sign your name to it. That's it.
All right. Ellis. Got anything you want to say?
Oh, it's my turn?
Yes, your turn.
Wow. I'm amazed. Well, I just want to say, don't forget next week, Tactical Tuesday. You can't miss it. It's the good show before Hit or Miss. So.
Hell yeah.
It's always a hit, right?
No, it's always a miss.
Ellis, didn't you tell me that Nice Strike owes you $5?
Yeah, he does. He owes me. Actually, I've been counting. As of right now, he owes me $15.
Good luck,
dude. That's wow. No concealed carry class for you. All right, let's start a telethon right now. Let's start.
Oh Lord, here we go.
No, let's start a super chat right now. Help my son get out of debt.
No. All right.
All this free advertising for Night Strike starting to add up.
That's with Night Strike with a Y, by the way.
Yeah, you've been using an I, so it doesn't count.
No, it does. I spelled your name right every single time.
But last, certainly not least, Travis, what do you got to plug?
Hey, yeah, guys, get out there, educate yourself on your representatives, see how they vote. It's get active in the community, get involved. You don't like the way something's going, get involved and do something about it. Otherwise, just little plug, check out Caliber Corner. You can get nothing to watch between now and The Walking Dead. You can check out season 1 of Caliber Corner over on gunchannels.com. 13 episodes of glorious, awesome podcasting for you all to enjoy. Thanks to you guys that join in. So that's it. That's all I got.
All right. So again, I want to thank everyone on the Gun Channel side that are watching and commenting. I also want to thank everyone on the YouTube side for watching and commenting and being part of the conversation. So, Smeggy, do you have any final words for us?
Yeah, I got something else. Sorry, I forgot about it earlier. I know I pimped a bunch of the other stuff earlier, but this weekend is the Gun Rights Policy Conference. If you guys aren't aware of what the Gun Right Policy Conference is, and you are aware of Every Second Matters, picture Every Second Matters done as a yearly thing with every single pro-gun rights group in the country sitting in the same room together, talking about what they did, what they need to do, what their strategies are, you know, how they need help, how they can help other people. I mean, I'm sure it's one of those, you watch like the speeches and stuff, and it's a cheerleading event, in my opinion. I get all fired up and go, yeah, we're going to get all this stuff. But then I'm sure in the back room, or like, you know, after that, there's a lot of handshake deals going on, you know, saying, oh, how can, you know, whatever, Florida Carry can help someone in Missouri, or these guys can help those guys. Gun Owners of America putting some money in California, you know, like whatever's going on. It's a great thing. G-Webs is going to be there. It's in Dallas this year. If you're close, figure out a way to get there. You know, I don't know. I know there's pre-registering and stuff. I don't think it costs any money. I think they just want to know how many people are going to show up.
Yeah, you
if
can
you're
just
far
show
away
up.
and you can afford a plane ticket or whatever, knock yourself out, go do that. But if not, there should be some decent live streaming. There has been the last 2 years. And by watching those videos and commenting along and, you know, sending a message to the people that are providing that live stream is saying, hey, thanks for what you're doing. Or even, you know, some suggestions like, hey, could you do this instead or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I think that would help. And I'm really looking forward to it. I hope it's going to be a productive year. I know G-Webs was kind of planning, you know, you guys, I don't like putting words in his mouth, but he has said many times before, there's a lot of apathy in, you know, the gun world right now, because it's like, oh, Trump won, we win. We don't have to do anything. And I have a feeling he's going to go in there and kick some people in the butt and say, what the heck you guys doing? Get off your ass. Let's do stuff.
Absolutely.
Like I said, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he at least says that to his audience, and I will put words in my own mouth and say that to our audience. But again, I'm kicking you all in the butt. Go do something. And also, Every Second Matters is coming up like at the end of the weekend. So that should be
Monday,
a really good chat, because I'm hoping it will be a you know, recap of the Gun Rights Policy Conference and all that stuff. So be on the lookout for that. And that's all I have to say.
All right. So thank you all
Good
for
show,
listening.
guys. Great
Again,
show.
Thank you all for participating. Again, if you got you got ideas for topics for us to cover on the show, suggestions, you know, questions, send it to us on the email. And with that, I'd like to thank you all for watching. This was Hit or Miss.